Hey, and there's the opening crack. First opening crack of the season felt a little weird.
It was weird. It had like this weird deep undernote,
it was like a
too. I don't know what that was.
It means that beer's been sitting somewhere for a while, maybe.
I could see all the condensation on the outside of the can. It's rough.
So it's time for the opening crack, the sideshow to the D&D show we normally do where we taste and rank some beer. Other than the weird opening crack, how's everybody doing this evening, fellas?
I'm well.
Woohoo!
Yay!
We're good.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Good. It was good to be back in the studio.
Season 3.
Season 3 opening crack. That's right. I love it.
Oh, wow. Do we get little buttons?
Do you want a button?
Yeah.
I'll find you a button. At least get you like a gold sticky star or something if you want one.
Okay.
Not as good? You want a button?
It's not, but
He wants a gold star for every beer he's had to review that he hasn't been a fan of.
We'll start a sticker chart.
ooh, another weird beer.
Yay! Hey, at least we haven't dove back into the pickle beer since you've been coming on the show. So
Yeah, I didn't think I'd probably try it. I would try real hard
This
to
is why-
sit that one out.
So just so everybody knows, Damon has two glasses. He has the glass with the beer we're trying, and then he has a glass with beer he actually likes.
Just in case. Just in case.
It's a palate cleansing glass.
That's right.
Hey, I completely understand. But tonight we're jumping back into at least type style. Phil, what do we got going on?
So we are looking at another Chonk. So if you've listened to any of our past episodes, we've done a Chonk by Drekker before, but we have come across the pineapple whip. There's a lot of H's in there. We got to make sure we emphasize the H's.
Stewie's coming on the show or something.
And like I think the last Chonk we did was also some version of a sour, right? We're looking at a Sundae
It was a
Sour.
Sundae Sour, yes.
Yeah. First thoughts?
Boy.
We decided that Chonk is the cat, right?
Oh, yes.
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 Is the cat on the label again?
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about the
Because
can.
they all
since we're
seem to have some sort of variation of the cat on the label in some manner. It's
He's a
kind of psychedelic.
Chonky boy.
Mm-hmm.
The big
Yeah.
old kitty cat.
So since we're talking about the cat on the can, the description of this beer is: our lovable hefty boy found himself in a land or a world full of delicious pineapple ice cream desserts. This new pineapple whip chonk is loaded up with pineapple, marshmallows, lactose, and pineapple sorbet. I think they have that description down pretty solid on this one.
Definitely when you said the cat on the can or cat in the can, it makes me think of like the elephant in the room. I'm going to start saying it as like the cat in the
Boys,
can.
let's address the cat on the can.
That's right. Like, that's what it's going to be now.
Please, next time you're at a meeting for work, just drop that line.
And let us
Like,
know
what are you
how it
talking about?
goes.
Be like, the chonky boy?
And, and then proceed without mentioning anything. Just
So to all of our followers out
Okay,
there,
Phil needs that as a button.
chonky boy.
the cat on the can or Chonky Boy? Which one? I think both could work.
Both.
So if you're in your next meeting out there in podcast land, if you're in a meeting, please say you're going to address the cat on the can and let us know how that goes.
Gosh.
So taste thoughts, guys, as you take a sip here. What are your feelings on this one?
Whole lot of pineapple.
Yeah, you don't miss that
Yep.
for sure.
It's very, very fruit forward.
I
And
like that when you went to go pour it too, you could almost like see some of the pineapple. Like it's a fruit beer, and they definitely have like must be, I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
pureed pineapple in there or something because you can,
Something.
Yeah, you can definitely see it like on the
Yeah.
glass.
and it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate that, to be honest, because like last season we had toward the end of the season we had Nordic Jam, which was it was like a Nordic fruits one, had cherries and strawberries and stuff in it, but I think one of the things that always throws me off when you have fruited beers is they're not necessarily the color of the fruit that's in them. Like I expected that beer to have like a red, pinkish tint to it, and it comes out just like a golden ale or whatever style they were shooting for. It certainly tasted like fruit, but didn't represent the fruit well. This chonk, it looked like pineapple whip. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Whip.
Yeah, and it has that. I mean, it has that sort of thickness
Yes.
to it. Like it's got a different
Even like the foam,
viscosity.
you can almost tell. Like I don't know, it just carries a different. Yeah,
Well, it's made with pineapple sorbet too, so
That's-
you would probably
that's
get some of the
from-
thickness,
Sure.
thickness to the bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and I think somebody said that they list lactose as well,
Yes.
which makes that helps to give it that sort of creamy mouthfeel because lactose stays in the beer. It doesn't ferment out like other sugars do. So, and this it's got a nice clean finish. It doesn't like really stick around too much, or like
that's true,
like
yeah.
the fruit lingers for me, and not like you don't get any like real. I know they call it a sour, but there's not really any sour coming through.
So we did the last Sundae Sour. It was more like the orange dreamsicle flavor, and I thought the interesting thing, I think if I remember right, the description of that one said that there was like vanilla soft serve in that. It's like this time they say pineapple sorbet. And it's like the marshmallow that they describe gives you like that very subtle hint of vanilla, but it's not like that ice cream vanilla in this one. So you certainly keep that fruit forward where it's like very sharp fruit almost. This fits to me more of a sour than the orange dreamsicle did.
Oh,
in some ways.
Yes. So I wasn't a huge fan of the orange creamsicle because it was so creamy. It was a little too much for me. This one I can handle.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
This one, I think I said this with the last one though. I could also float a scoop of vanilla ice cream in this. Like I think that would be flippin' delicious.
I think that this is about a couple ounces shy of Prosecco of being a wonderful breakfast drink.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beer
When I have it, I get it reminds me of like graduation punch.
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, that's like Sprite and whatever other fruit, and like within whatever like concentrated frozen fruit you want to put in there.
That's 100% correct.
That's what it reminds me.
It does.
Of.
The big solid chunk of stuff that comes out of the freezer like right before people start arriving.
Right. Well, that's usually sorbet, isn't it? That they throw in there. Like you put.
I think you could. Sure. Yeah.
Put sorbet in those types of punches.
A lot of
I think that
times
would
with
be-
like fruit frozen into
Yeah,
it
totally.
as well.
Yeah.
So,
We're pretty much there.
Yeah.
So we should note that even though we've had one of these, just a different flavor before, that this does come from Drekker Brewing. Drekker is out of Fargo, North Dakota. So it's good to have them back on the show here. The ABV on this one is a 6.1%, which makes a little bit of sense because it's very sweet. So it makes sense that the alcohol content may be a little bit higher on this one, but it doesn't taste of alcohol at all to me. I think this is another one of those dangerous ones where if it was a hot day and I had like 3 of these, my butt would be dragging.
I feel like you feel pretty full though too, with like all of the
yes.
fruit after having.
Mouthfeel and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It is like surprisingly heavy. Like it tastes like really light and refreshing, and that. But yeah, it is. I agree. It is surprisingly heavy.
It's got some chunkiness to it.
Chonked it up.
Chonky, it's a little chonky boy.
Chonkalicious. That's probably what they say around the office.
They have to address the cat on the can.
They have a big meter, the Chonkalicious meter.
Chonkalicious meter.
And whenever they make a beer, they taste it and they say, I don't know if it's Chonkalicious enough.
Man, I feel like we should have a Chonkalicious meter in here. Like, where does this rate on our Chonkalicious scale?
Ooh, we need to rename.
It's no longer the challenge.
So the challenge rate is the Chonk rating. Oh man. So let's talk a little bit really quick just before we move on to like getting into the actual D&D stuff here. Hops, not a lot of hops. The IBU scale, at least on Untapped, it doesn't list an IBU for this beer. I couldn't find one on their website either. Obviously, there probably is hops in it somewhere because it has to have hops to be classified as beer, right, Damon?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but if there's no hops, it's not beer.
So technically, there's some in there somewhere, but we can't taste it, and it's not imparting any bitterness on what we're tasting. So there's that.
No, there's so much else in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I certainly, and we'll get to this a little bit later, but I think this certainly makes it very approachable to people, just because it's not your typical hoppy beer. It might not be what we immediately go to, but it's
One ingredient that we haven't even touched on is marshmallows in there.
right? Yeah.
Like, there's just so much going on in this.
Yeah, which adds to that sort of like creamy.
Yeah.
Even more sweetness.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about. Let's bring D&D back into our beer review here. Where would we find this beer, and what is it called? And by where, I mean what brew house? Damon, you want to kick us off tonight?
I do.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Here we go.
What was I going to say?
No, Ross, not tonight.
I know all about yes and. However,
Ooh.
I do not believe that this beer is found at an ale house or at a tavern. So I don't. Again, I know nothing about the world of T&D, but I do know some things about the Victorian era.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And once upon a time, pineapples were like the most expensive thing in the world to
Sure.
get your hands on, right? And so rich people, like, they would buy a pineapple and have a pineapple party. Everybody'd come over to their house, and
I
they'd
believe that's for something else these days. to
they'd
be
show
honest.
up. That's if it's upside down.
Oh, okay. My bad. Wow.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. Time out. No, I'm just kidding.
I have a whole breadth and width of knowledge in my brain, Ross. That's how I-
Pineapples?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I thought for a second you were going to say, I have a friend.
And this beer feels decadent in that sort of a way. Like, this is a beer that somebody has, they import it from some exotic locale in order to show off, right? And they do so at the end of the year. Okay. So this is referred to as Millie's Dividend Punch.
Ooh.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's served by Millie, who is the owner and proprietor of Merchants Bank and Trust. So at the end of the year, it's, assuming it's been a good year for the bank and trust,
Uh-huh.
Millie splurges big holiday bash for all the employees and families,
Love it.
and brings in a barrel of what they call Millie's Dividend Punch, and they rename it because they're bankers and they feel that they can do that.
That feels like somewhere a certain rogue in the room would want to break in and steal.
Oh, yeah. Stealing pineapples over there?
You guys just think there's beer in there. It's empty. I already took it.
Oh, man. That whole story reminded me, like, Tom Hanks tells a story, like, how his production company, like, every year at Christmas would get, like, a pineapple upside-down cake from Tom Cruise, and his employees would, like, fight over it.
Yeah.
That whole thing made me think of that. Because always around Christmas time, same kind of thing. Yeah,
There you go. Millie's Dividend Punch.
I love it.
So mine is almost related.
Ooh.
So
Almost.
almost. You'll get the almost.
Yours
here
an
in a moment.
upside down pineapple?
So
How
we-
chonkalicious is it?
We go to an establishment owned and operated by a pair of goblins called Gimlet and Gigglebit, who are adventurous. And the name
That
of
was
the
a
bar,
Weird pause alert.
the name of the bar is the Tipsy Turtle. And on the sign,
Mm-hmm.
the name of the beer is the Swinger's Delight. See, it was almost
It was.
related to yours,
Yeah,
to Millie's.
Oh my gosh.
yeah. It's along those lines, I would say, certainly.
Oh, my God. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm not going there.
Now, what's
No.
the relation of these two goblins?
And
They're
my beer.
associates?
Business partners.
They're old college buddies?
They're adventurous.
Fair enough.
Goblins prefer not to be defined by their relationships. So.
Mm.
Mine, I don't believe is related.
So this is a right side up pineapple
Okay.
situation.
Probably. This beer is going to be named the Suckin' on Sunshine.
It's not really.
Not related. Not at all related.
And you can find this, well, you probably shouldn't, but you can find it at Griselda's Tropical Oasis.
Ooh.
Griselda is a hag who is luring adventurers in with the facade of a paradise and false promise of refreshment with
Ooh,
her beers. And then
Mm.
adventurers no more.
she sounds like a nice
Okay.
lady.
Jeez.
I guess. That's what happens when that pineapple's upside down. What's the name of your beer again?
Sucking on sunshine. I like wrote it out. I'm like,
She is.
that should maybe be sipping. I'm like, nah.
Do you whenever somebody says the name, do you have to sing "whoa" afterwards?
I feel like you do.
So it's sucking on sunshine, whoa, and don't it feel good? It's a Casey and the Sunshine Band reference.
I feel like maybe they
man.
also serve. They send their Suckin' on Sunshine over to the Tipsy Turtle, and they just rebrand it.
Yeah.
If you flip the words upside down, that's what you end up with.
But Griselda just buys it from the bank. It's Millie's.
So how are you going to relate
Yeah.
to this, Ross?
What do you
Well,
got?
I feel like I'm way off from where you guys were. Apparently, jeez. We're going to Farview on the island of Moray, which is in the Moonshay Isles, to the brewery, the Mystic Tide Brewing Company, where Wally, a sorcerer, I was feeling some Dune for whatever reason. So Wally makes Wally's weirding whip. Wally's weirding whip. But he's a sorcerer. That's all I got. I didn't come up with enough like backstory on this one. What?
It's called like Wally's Whip.
Yeah.
Wally's weirding whip.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
mean, I guess it is connected in a way.
Like we made it there.
Wally's whip.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you got me there. Oh, now that we've gone down that road.
God, Wally's serving up his cream ale. Gosh. What is that? It's the Sundae Sour. Thanks, Wally.
Appreciate it. Oh. Yeah.
Wally's got you covered.
All right, so moving on. It's time to rank this beer. So on a scale of 1 to 20, a CR1, challenge rating 1, being like cream ales, things like that, to a CR20, which is like Imperial Stouts, double IPAs. Don't mind that I just said spout. It's fine. What are you guys feeling on this one? Whip.
I'm spouting a solid 1.
Spouting.
I'm spouting a solid 1.
Thank you.
I might be sucking on a one.
You
A
heard
big
it-
old 1.
You heard it here first, folks.
I mean, for me, it's definitely towards the bottom. Even not for me, someone who is not a huge like beer lover or large connoisseur of beers, I think could approach this and say, "This is beer." Like, I think that might really be the question. So
Sure. I think because of that, I'm going to give this like a 7.
I
It's
can
like-
see that side of it.
I love it. For me, it's a 1. I'd have no problem drinking this. But it's like if somebody came in looking for something fruity, this would be fine. If you come in looking for a beer and you're like, oh, I'll try that, it would probably turn you off. You'd probably go like, this is maybe not for me.
Yep.
I want my Bud Light or something that tastes, has some malt to it and has some hops to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough question because everybody approaches from a different place.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't think anybody is really going to find this unapproachable. If that
Agreed,
makes
yes.
sense. They might try some of it and say like, I don't really think that's for me.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you don't like pineapple.
Right.
Which, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
You would
Um,
not pick this one up
No.
at all.
So I think I'm going to say 6
Okay.
in that sort of neck of the woods.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Mhm.
So why don't you kick us off, yeah or nay? Would you have it again?
The question is, would I have it again?
Yeah. Well, do you? Okay. So I guess, do you like it? And usually part of that is if you like it, you're going to have it again.
If you were not under duress, would you have it again?
If you didn't have any other available options.
I like it. I think it's good.
Mhm.
I don't need to have another one ever.
Okay. That's the kicker there. Yes.
But the question is, would I have it again? Yes, I would have it again.
Gotcha. So like if I went and bought some of these and we tried floating it, you would be like, yeah, I'd try that.
Do I-
Depends what else was in the
We're asking
fridge.
the tough questions
I'm
here.
gonna look on the
here on the
shelves
opening
and
crack.
see first.
right.
Do I have to have the whole thing?
I mean, that's
They
up to you. I
can.
don't
You
care.
can split it.
That's what you put ice cream in it, so it's
Yeah,
not as much.
I'll eat around it.
All right, Brett, what you got?
I said no to the orange one.
Mhm.
This one I'm saying yes. Like, I would take this one starting off the morning ahead of an 11 a.m. football kickoff, starting the morning off right
Mhm.
with one of these.
Yeah. It's that mimosa kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, and I was thinking, I thought you were headed for like I would start off with one of these right in the morning before my 8 a.m. meeting. Like, let's just get that cat on the can out
Yeah.
of there. So,
Yeah, why
Address it.
I definitely would drink this one again. I would buy it potentially, and I don't think I could drink all 6 like in a sitting or
No,
even, even maybe 2, but
Good news for you, it comes in a 4-pack.
Oh, even
look
better.
at that.
Nice.
They were thinking of you.
We don't have to have a price discussion about 4 versus 6, but it's something that upsets me regularly with beer. So
They are pint cans.
yes, they
It's
are.
true. They are
This is
bigger
true.
cans.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm along the same lines as you. I don't think I could ever have more than one, like in a day. But I could go through a 4-pack. Like if I got one, I would have no problem drinking all of them. So it's definitely yay for me. I think I said yay to the last one too, with the asterisks that I wanted to float that one as well. So probably need to try that at some point.
We'll just have an ice cream bar, but it's really just a bunch of Drekker Sours and ice cream.
Right?
It's like those like self-serve like frozen yogurt
Oh yeah.
places.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like that. Like they make like self-serve taps that keep
Oh,
track
yeah.
of how much you poured.
That'd be
That's
is
true.
doable.
Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen those with wine too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. that'd be
This is
cool.
doable.
All right.
New business opportunity for somebody.
Right.
So
Let us know. We'll come visit.
I was thinking Christmas party this next time around for
Sure,
us.
Yeah, right. Hey, there we go. So anyway, yeah, this was Chonk Pineapple Whip, which is a Sundae Sour from Drekker Brewing in Fargo, North Dakota. You can find more about all their beers at drekkerbrewing.com. So that's going to do it for this episode. Stay tuned for more beer reviews in the future. You can check out our regular show, Bards and Barrels, anywhere podcasts can be found. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Bards and Barrels. Until next time, may your dice be hot and your beer be cold.